So now you have logged into your beautiful blank WordPress site. So you're going to see the background. If you look at it on the front, if you're able to see it, this is what it would look like. Very plain, very blank, black and white. But you will log in and you will look at the dashboard, and this is what it's going to look like. Now, if I helped you create the site, it's going to look like this, and people will actually be able to see it. But if you were able to create the site all by yourself, the first thing that you're going to want to do is look up here in the dashboard, and it's going to say something like, your site is currently showing under construction. Would you like to publish the site? And there will be a button right here that says publish. Since I created this site in the background, I don't have that option. But if you created it, please, and everybody actually, make sure the first thing that you want to do is check to make sure that that line here, like where I say new feature, blah, 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 you will have another line that says, do you want to publish your site? Yes, you want to publish your site. So that is what I have going on here. This is my background. So I can actually, I'm going to follow along with the rubric so that you will know exactly everything that we're doing as we go. And I will cover everything that is in the grading rubric so you can easily ace it and get 100% on this. But again, if you don't hit that publish button in the get-go, which I can't show you right here because I don't have it, if you don't do that, nobody will be able to see your site, and that will be a 0. I won't be able to see it, nobody except for you when you are logged in and hit this visit site, because this right here, visit site, is how you get from your dashboard to actually see your site. However, even if you hit that visit site, if your site is not published, you, when you are logged in, will still be able to see it because it's assuming that you are working on it. So we want to go back to our dashboard. And you can actually see that when we are up here, we have access to several things right from up here. For instance, I can get directly to themes from here. I can get to my dashboard. And another thing that I asked for in the rubric is for you to customize your layout. I think we need to do themes first because that will change what is available for us to customize. Themes are developed by third parties, and so they are set up a little bit differently. So if I pick a different theme than what you choose, you're going to see something differently than I do. Also know that when I do this, there's more than one way to access different things. So even though I hit themes, I can select this to go directly to themes. I could also go to dashboard, get into my background here, and go into appearance. Appearance is going to have a link to themes and customize and widgets and menus, but theme and customize is all we're interested in right now. And you can see that currently this has a header and a background option. If I change themes, it may not be that way. So there's always more than one way to skin a cat in WordPress, and no one way is more right than the other way. So I'm going to go ahead and hit themes. Now, because this is a multi-site install that is stored up here at TAMUSA, you only have 29 options. In the real world, if you do an install, you might have nearly unlimited. There's like 2,900 currently available themes out there in the world. To make your life a little bit easier, I picked 29 of my favorites for you. So, what I want you to look at when you pick what your theme is, you want to kind of look at the bones of the site. Know that even though this has a white background, you're going to be able to change that. You're going to be able to change the color of the font. The different things that you may not be able to change, for instance, is that this is, see how this particular theme has that photo, it has a menu on the top, and then it has a 2x1 column layout. This one is 3 columns. This one has all of these cool social media icons on the top. Those are the bones of the site. And the layout of the site you're not going to be able to change, but pretty much everything else, especially as you get more skilled at WordPress, pretty much everything else you're going to be able to change. So I am going to go ahead and I don't want to pick anything that is called a storefront right now. But if I know I want to have a portfolio, I might do a portfolio. But you can go ahead and flip through these, see if any of them call your attention. I actually really like, and I will add here later. Let me just add this one. So I'm going to do this decode, and you can see that to activate this, all I need to do is hit a button, or I can look at a preview of it. But since I don't have any theme in there currently, I'm going to go ahead and activate. Now you can change your theme however many times as you want to. If you start getting in and creating pages and putting images and posts and all of that information, it's not going to lose any of that information if you change your theme. So feel free to change it. Whenever you get sick of it, change it. Doesn't matter. You know, there may be some functionality and things that you lose when you change a theme. Again, because they're not all exactly the same, but it doesn't in general hurt to change your theme. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to visit my site. You can see that they give me this. So now I have a significant change over what it looks like before. I'm actually not quite sure that I'm in love with this theme, so let's go back and change the theme again. You can see that it doesn't necessarily look exactly like what it looks like here, and that's because I don't have all the same content. I don't have any of my social media things hooked up to it, so I don't have these icons, for instance. Let's take a live preview of this one. Server seems a little slow today. You can find out more about your theme. Okay, I'm going to do this one. Let's just do this portfolio. I'm going to suck it up and just pick a theme and start working on it. Again, it doesn't matter if I don't love my theme because I can always go back and change it. So that is the way you pick a theme. Basically, you activate your theme and there it is. Now to get in, you can see the next thing on the rubric is to change your tagline and title and do some customization. And all of that, along with the next one, which is changing your first page from a blog to static, actually happens in the exact same place. So I'm going to go in here to the Customize menu. Remember, the Customize menu is also available on the top when you are visiting the site. Okay, currently you can see that my site is untitled. I'm going to go ahead into my site identity, and I want to change my site title and my tagline, which is one of the items that is on your rubric. So I'm going to go ahead here and say and the tagline are the little words that appear under there. You can see here I don't have a tagline because I deleted it, so let's say I never did get that whole apostrophe S thing. All of you journalist students can explain that to me. Okay, so you can see here that my title and my tagline showed up here, so that's exactly right. I've changed that, so now I've met my rubric requirements. So let's also, I'm going to save and publish here. Anything that you do, creating a post, creating a page, all of that has to be published before it actually shows up. Now to get back inside of the Customize menu, I am going to go ahead and hit that little bebop, that little arrow, right arrow. Now I have all of these different cool things that I can go ahead and customize, and you can see one of the items on the rubric is to customize. Now depending on the theme that you use, these items are going to be different because again, themes are created by a multitude of third-party designers, and a lot of times we're using free themes and they want you to buy the more expensive themes, so you may not have access to everything, and it's going to be different depending on the themes. But every different theme has some things that you can customize, and you're always going to access it here in the Customize menu. So I have a ton of stuff here. Customizing your site identity doesn't count for customizing your site. Also, changing your first page from blog to static, which we're also going to do inside of this menu, doesn't count. But anything else that you do, this counts for customization on the rubric. So let's see here. Background color, let's say I want to change the background color to green. Ooh, I really don't like that. I can change it to a light blue. Again, yours may or may not function this way. Don't worry about it. To make that happen, I'm going to save and publish. I'm going to go back. I have access to my menus here. We're going to get more into menus later. Most themes don't have access to them right there. I can change my header image. We're going to talk more about images later, but if you are good with a image editor, you can create a 900 by 100 and add the new image. You actually will have to go into the media library and select your files and upload it. We're going to talk, I believe, next week more about optimizing your images for the web. But if you want to get in, and that's a customizing option, you can go in and start playing with these things. So just go in, play with anything that you have. This one is kind of cool. It has a slider. Again, we haven't talked about images a whole heck of a lot. Make sure you do at least one or two things here in the customization that is besides changing your title and tagline and changing your first page from a blog to static, which we want to do right now. Now, this is going to be a little bit messy because since I just created this site, I have only one page, but this is where it's done. Basically, whenever you open up a site that is not mainly a blogging site, the first page that you see is not going to have here your hello world, blog information. It's going to have some other background information, and then you may have a site that's called blog or news, and that's on a different page. But it's not there on the first page. So where I would change that is actually right here in this customization. Now, right now I only have this sample page, which probably already has my blog on it. Oh, no, look, I do have another page. And I have only the sample page. I can add new pages here. This is kind of a cool new feature of WordPress. So I could say, call this one Home. So now that is my front page without having anything on it, and then I can have a news page. Now I can't actually edit or change anything on these pages here. I'm going to go ahead and save and publish. Go out. And I'm back to my dashboard. The way that I can see my pages now is here on my dashboard. I have the pages menu. I can look at all pages. And you can see that this home and news that I created were actually put here. If I want to edit those, which I'd want to because I don't have any contents on them at all. Plus, I didn't capitalize home. Now this down here works pretty much like a word processor. I don't remember the name of the class. Was it Concepts of Web Design? So you can put anything you want to here. The page was already published by my customizer. Your customizer, depending on the theme that you use, may not have that option. I'm going to go ahead, update that. These things over here deal with menus. We don't have menus. I can preview my changes. It wouldn't matter if I previewed my changes. I've already published it. So here's my page. And you can see that my news has shown up automatically in my menu across the top. Depending on your theme, yours may or may not do that. This goes and it has my blog. That has a default blog that has come in on my page. I'm going to go back to home. So now let's take a look at the rubric. I've changed my theme. I've added my title and tagline. I've added my customization, making this kind of nasty blue in the background. You might want to make yours a little prettier. I've changed my first page from a blog to static in the customization. I have not created a post. Right now, the only post that I have is going to be my is that demo here that's on my news page. And currently it's uncategorized. I asked you to make some categories and then to have your categories show up. All of these things over here are widgets. Your menu or your theme may or may not have widgets available. So I'm going to go back into my dashboard. And let's take a look at posts. The difference between a page and a post, sometimes students get confused. Pages are kind of static. They don't change very often. Post is where you put in the things that you're going to add new information, like a journal entry or something like that on a weekly basis. So I can look here at my posts. First thing I want to do is delete this hello world. It may or may not let me do that. Let's see if we can delete it. Trash. Right, now I can go ahead and I can add new posts. Darn that apostrophe, right? If it's an it and an is and you put them together, you get the apostrophe. But if it's possessive, it does not have the apostrophe, right? Am I right? Okay. So now in here, again, I can make my post. Again, anytime I want something to appear, I actually have to hit that publish button. I have to publish pages, posts, whatever. Otherwise, nothing shows up. So I would publish, but before I do that, on the rubric, I asked you to create categories and put the posts in it. So what I mean by that, right now I don't have any categories. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a new category. So let's say I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to add a new category. Okay, so let's say since this is a TAMUSA site, this particular post only has to do with WordPress and TAMUSA. Also, I can have subcategories. So let's say I want to add a new category and I want to call it Photoshop. I can put that under Adobe Products. I don't want that there. Okay, so now with these categories added, I can say what is relevant, and then people, when they come in and they want to search my site for things that are relevant to Texas A&M San Antonio, they just have to hit that category, and then all sites where that particular category has been listed are going to, or all posts, excuse me, are going to be pulled up. So I have that done. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to publish this. This information down here at the bottom we're going to get to later. That is search engine optimization. We're not there yet. Okay, so now if I look at all of my posts, you can see that yay, it's a new web page shows up. I have my categories. If I go visit my site, there it is. And people, when they're searching for other things that are related, that's the purpose of categories right here. They can click on that, and that is right now the only post that I have. But if I had multiple that were related to that, it would pull up everything, and it helps people find related posts. Okay, so let's go ahead and read down the rubric. We have gone and we changed our theme. We've changed our title and tagline. I've changed my customization. I've put that ugly blue background, make yours prettier. I've changed my first page from blog to static. I've created this lovely and informative post, and I put categories. I've assigned them to the post. Or I think I say put post in categories, but you can see the categories are like a little folder, and that's kind of what I was thinking. My site is published. What I refer to on that, again, is if you go into your dashboard and you have that thing, there's a line up here that says your site is showing under construction until you hit this publish button. Hit that publish button. Otherwise you get a 0 because nobody can see your site but you. And I created and published a page. So that is the whole assignment for this. Now, the things that I want you to pay attention to here, this is your URL. Just this part without this login, because, you know, if you give this address and you want Grandma in Albuquerque to see it, or your other peers in class, because we are going to be doing peer reviews, this is the site that you want to actually see. This is your URL without the WP admin. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy that. And then if you go into your weekly modules, gosh darn it. Let me see if I'm logged in over here. Yes, I am. Awesome. Okay, you're going to turn that in, submit that to just the URL to the week 2 assignments. And you can put in there a little write-up saying I changed, especially things like customizing where it may not be immediately obvious, because I don't know if that ugly blue background was there to start with or if you made that ugly blue background. So you may want to write up a little bit about that. If your page, like I created that news page, if that didn't show up in my menu, I may want to put a link to that page. So just make sure that all the information is there so that people can actually look at your page. But realize there's 2 places you have to turn in your assignment. First, you're going to click on this week 2 assignment. You'll hit the submit button. Now this isn't available, so it's going to, I guess actually you'll put it here in the comments. You put that, you'll put whatever, blah, 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 hit the submit. I put an ugly blue background to customize. My news page doesn't show on the menu, which it may or may not depending on your theme. But I created, and you can go into this. Let me refresh this. This is an old one. I can go here. Copy this URL. So you're going to put any information that I am going to need to see your site. Once you have this all done, you may want to actually copy the whole thing. Submit it. It's coming up with that because I'm not really a real student and this class is not actually done. But the other place where you have to submit your site is into the peer review project. So every project that we have is going to have a place where you submit it to me for grading, but then also where you can grade yourself and grade, you will be assigned to grade projects of your peers. So you'll go into the next week. Since this is week 2, I want you to go into week 3. And yours is going to look different. Mine's a little messed up because I'm not in a sample student. But there will be a place where you submit it. Right after you turn in your project, go to that peer review, submit the project. And it will say copy and paste the URL, put in a description. So that's why I said you may want to copy and paste what you gave to me because this is actually kind of like a different assignment. It'll give you a place to do that. You submit it. After a couple of days, I think it is, I may have given you 2 days to turn this in, there will be a review period and you will be assigned 2 projects to review. So it's really important that you get your projects in on time and you get them submitted to this peer self-review on time so that you can get other projects and you can look at other people's projects. This is the first time I've used this tool, so we're giving it a test drive to see exactly how it works. Give me feedback and tell me if you love it or hate it. But I really think it's important for you not only to evaluate your own work against a rubric, but to take a look and see what other people are doing and kind of give them feedback also. And this way you're getting feedback more quickly because you'll be getting it from your peers, but also you'll be getting it from more sources than just me. So that is the whole project for this week. Please feel free to text me, or texting is probably the best bet if you want a really fast answer. I keep my texting on until about 11 o'clock at night, and being a technology junkie, my phone is normally in my hand. So if you want a fairly quick answer, usually immediately, but pretty much always within an hour or 2, the best way to do it is text me, and that should be over here in the contact information. Looking forward to see with what you come up with.